Starting day 6, Afghanistan. Waking up to this beautiful morning, to the sound of sparrows in the garden, fresh air. So it's time for us to leave the village and unfortunately have to bid a goodbye to these people. They might have a small pocket, but their hearts are very big. They made me feel like a king with their amazing hospitality. Well, as we were walking towards the car, I found a very interesting scene over here. A school under the tree. You asked them if they know India.
رجال كان بقتنع كهندستان.
هو بيجن تاس فيلم بس رغلا دي.
They are watching Bollywood movies.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Actually, he says, as you know better, from last 50 years, there was war in different situations, especially in previous government. The one side was Taliban, the other side was the government. Actually, the most schools are destroyed, and we have not developed, and most people are uneducated, and we are trying our best to develop the country. The people become educated, understand, realize, working in different situations in different programs. Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
ما دي هم خلج افغانستان خل ډیر غل لري ملوي خوشاله
ډیر دوستي لري او بس لري
سره هغه کې سره او دوی ته خوشاله دي پاکستان نه بس
Oh, Mungtamal Kumak actually he says we are very grateful from India. Okay. Always he helped us in different sector, in education, in development projects. We are always very respectful and very grateful for India. They are our best friends, good friends, and we have a nice relationship. And really welcome you that came
Tell them that India loves Afghanistan as well.
Well, Afghanistan, Hindustan ډیر خرابت ډیر مینه لري افغانانو سره ډیر په خواني روابط لري.
And in this school there are totally 1015 students coming from the nearby villages, and there are 31 teachers overall. So right from the first grade to the 12th grade, every subject from every grade is taught over here under different trees. Subjects like Pashto, biology, physics, chemistry, and also religious studies based on Holy Quran. And then around 200 meters from the boys' school is the girls' school. So from a very distance you can see that under the trees there are a group of 7 to 8 girls who are being taught various subjects. So I'll go have a word with them as well. We're now in the girls' school in Alingarh district, and I'm in between these cute little kids who are in the first grade right now, and currently Holy Quran is being taught over here. Also, I spent quite amount of time with the principal over here. There are a lot of challenges. One big challenge in the boys' school is that the accounted number is around 1015 students, but there are hardly 300 to 400 people over there because most of the boys keep running away as they're not much interested in education. Whereas in the girls' school, the education is limited to only the 6th grade by the current government, and they are still deciding whether or not to continue the girls' education. The schools do not have basic facilities like the bathrooms, and if anyone has to urinate or use the restroom, they have to go to their homes in the nearby villages. And when it rains, because right now you can see that all the schools are under the trees, and in cases where it rains, they are all taken to the masjid nearby, which is around 20 to 30 meters, and all of them are taught under the same roof. When I asked a few questions to the localites about the education system here, what I could understand so far is that whether it is a boy or a girl, it is made sure that the student is first aware of the religion, the teachings in the Quran or by the Prophet, and anything else comes next, be it science, economics, or even the nation as such. Well, my guide was very excited meeting his relatives last night, and he managed to get just around 2 or 3 hours of sleep. When we were on the way back to Kabul, he evidently seemed exhausted. And when I asked him to take some rest, the good thing over here is there are many parks here, and these parks have cots or bed spaces by the riverside. So he's there just taking his nap. When I asked them their opinions about the ban on the girls' education after the 6th grade, there were no convincing answers, and when I just tried to dig a little deeper, I could sense that they were getting offended because everything over here relates back to the religion, and I don't intend to hurt any religious sentiments. But there are some basic and simple questions that anyone can think of. Let's suppose someone over here would want to visit a gynecologist, or forget gynecologist, even as simple as RCT, root canal treatment. Obviously, having seen the country so far, they would prefer women to be attended by a female doctor. But how can there be a female doctor without a formal education? But here and there, I was told that the current government is trying to reconsider the ban on the girls' education. But for that to happen, they have to completely reconstruct the way it is formalized right now, because there has to be separate institutions and separate institutions for boys as well as girls, and only male teachers trying to teach the male students, whereas the female teachers are teaching the female students. The country has been shattered to such an extent that since the last 40 years, people have just become immune to witnessing gun attacks, warfare, daylight robbery, and huge amount of corruption, wrong influence by Russia, US, Pakistan, and many others. I think it would take at least a decade of a stable government for Taliban to see some hopes in some daylight and to catch up with the rest of the world. When I interacted with the Taliban, who are everywhere and who are controlling the nation, they are the policymakers and they're also the people managing the security. The sad plight is that they do have a very good vision for the country, but the sad plight is that hardly a few people are educated. They spend 20 years or more of their lifetime in the mountains trying to defend their land. So they're very sweet and they're very welcoming, because whenever I met a Taliban person, he kept asking me whether I'm safe, if there is something I can do, and everyone invited me for dinner and to have at least chai with them. Right now, they're making sure that the nation is completely secure and any terror attacks or any external influence will be strictly not entertained. So I just wish that this government at least will take Afghanistan to new heights. walking now in Shahre-e-Nawab. This is one of the most expensive areas in Kabul, and for some reason I get the feeling of a modern Afghanistan over here. I find stores which sells blazers, suits, all the cosmetics, perfumes, and also I find men and women interacting over here. So I'd just come into the hotel to take a shower, and I realized that it's been almost a week since I spoke to any woman face to face, even for the basic conversations as to hi, hello, how are you. So anyway, most of my day spent in traveling back from Lagman to Kabul, and I met two interesting people. One is Mr. Jalil, who was one of the 500,000 accounted people that fled from Afghanistan after the Taliban took over in 21. He was telling me very interesting stories and how he suffered and how he saw his own friends die on the way. He had to spend 1 year and cross 10 countries until he reached UK, and right now he's on a refugee visa. Now Mr. Jalil has come to his homeland to spend some quality time with his family, and he intends to take them back to UK as well. Another person that I met was Mr. Habibullah. Unfortunately, I couldn't take any photos with him because he currently works in the Ministry of Finance, and he is a very active Talib. He has spent 13 years in the force, and he was also telling me that he was one of the people that used to prepare weapons and the bombs and everything. And in one such case, he was imprisoned in such a way that he was not allowed to see any brightness. So he was in complete darkness for 1 whole year. And he also showed me that he had bullet marks on his legs, on his waist, and almost he has around 6 to 7 marks on his body. One thing that he said impressed me a lot. He said that, see, we've been fighting with the US for 20 years, but even now, if there is a guest from US, we'll make sure that he or she gets the royal treatment and they see the best of Afghanistan. Okay. So this is the gun market where arms and weaponry were sold here before. The gun market. I'm in a market in Chicken Street and I found something very hilarious. The faces of the mannequins have also been covered. Come on, guys. Just look at that. Look at that. I had come to the market to buy some clothes and other collectibles. Throughout this trip, I never saw any business owner, be it in his retail shop or in his restaurant or whatsoever it is, accepting card payments. So the only mode of transaction is cash. And since now we also ran out of Afghanis, so the only method for us was to convert the USDs that were available with me. So that is my guide changing USD to Afghani. Luckily, there are these small money exchange units like the one in front of me who will have ready Afghanis with him, and you can exchange with whatever currencies you have, provided they are one of the majorly used currencies. This is so unfair. There's no Jammu, no Kashmir, no Arunachal Pradesh, nothing. Where is Sri Lanka? Doesn't even exist. Too bad. This pisses me off. Wherever I see a globe or a world map in Afghanistan, they have completely cut off Kashmir, Jammu Kashmir from us. This is so unfair, man. You guys say that you have good relations with us, but look at this. Tell me one thing. Why have the people removed Jammu Kashmir from us?
No what?
Jammu Kashmir from the Indian map. They belong to us. Final night in Afghanistan, and my tour guide Mr. Hewad has got me to this classy restaurant called Bukhara 24/7. come back for another visit. Why not?